Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. We have a full moon on the 27th of November 2023, 9:16 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Okay, so this full moon is right here in the 5th house, Gemini. So the 5th house deals with leisure time, so fun, games, lovers, sports and games, children as well are dealt with in the 5th house. And Gemini being the sign that it wants to do a lot of things all at once. It wants to be kept quite busy. So it could be more than one of those things that are being dealt with under this full moon. We've got Uranus in Taurus right there as well, not in conjunction, but Uranus wants the new, the modern, wants to bring things up to date. So let's just have a look what's going on in this chart, because the last full moon and the last new moon were very interesting. The 11th house was quite prominent, and it does look as if it is in this chart as well. And there did seem to be quite a lot going on in the last full moon and the last new moon, with things being brought out into the open. And it was Scorpio and Pluto that were quite prominent in the last two charts. But here we have again the 11th house, Scorpio, on the cusp of the 11th house right there. We've got Pluto still in Capricorn in the 1st house there. And as I mentioned, Pluto wants to bring all the hidden to the surface. It wants to know what's going on. Scorpio likes to dig deep. But then if we look into the 11th house, which was so strong before, we've got both Mars and the Sun in conjunction in Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarius likes to deal with travel, culture, philosophy, religion, law. And the 11th house is groups of people. Now, it's quite interesting that Sagittarius starts in the 11th house, but it also goes through to the 1st house. So here we've got the 12th house sitting there with nothing in it, and it does look quite prominent the way it's sitting there with nothing in it. Now, the 12th house is things that are hidden or endings, secrets. So when we come back to the moon in the 5th house, I'm actually thinking here this could be something to do with oh, excuse me, with overseas, because Sagittarius deals with the overseas cultures, as I say, travel, things like that. Mars is quite quick acting, so it wants to be quite active and driven. It wants to be the lead in things. And of course, you've got the Sun there, making that quite a prominent house under this full moon. Then when we come to the ascendant, which is also on Sagittarius, we've got Mercury right there in conjunction. So there's some kind of talk going on about culture, about overseas, I would say. And because we've got Pluto there in the 1st house as well in Capricorn, I actually think we're still looking for answers. And that 12th house, is there something that's gone missing? Is there something hidden? Are people asking questions about the whereabouts of something? Are there children that have gone missing that we're looking for? because the 5th house deals with children. Which is quite interesting after, as I say, the last full moon and the last new moon charts that we were looking at. And then again, when we come to the 3rd house, which covers early learning, and it's where we learn to communicate when we're children, and the 4th house is a roots family. So looking at the 3rd house, we've got the North Node right there, which is a karmic. Again, something that needs to be done during this lifetime in Aries. So, and as Mars in the 11th house, which rules Aries. Okay, so that's quite an interesting one as well, because as I say, the North Node is things that we need to learn, things that are very valuable in this life, very valuable lessons that we need. We've also got Neptune in Pisces there. Neptune does rule Pisces. But Neptune is a dreamer. Pisces can be very sensitive as well. Okay, so there could be a lot of feelings going on with this, and the moon as well, it's emotions and feelings. But Neptune can also be to do with spiritual matters, and Sagittarius deals with religion. So this could have something to do with spirituality or religion that is being questioned here as well. Or maybe that's at the back of what's going on during this full moon at the end of November. Sagittarius planet is Jupiter, which is here in the 4th house, the roots, homes, families. It's in Taurus, which is very traditional and wants security. As I've done before on a video, I've talked about retrograde signs, and I've actually said it is an optical illusion. The planets don't go backwards. All this means here when it's retrograde is that these were, like here, for instance, Uranus and Jupiter, they were in conjunction. But because another planet, possibly the Earth, has gone past them, it now looks as if they're going backwards. It just appears that they're going backwards. You know, when you're sitting at a traffic lights and you're in the car and the car next to you starts pulling forward, right? You could also be moving forward, but because the other one started to pull away, maybe goes a little bit quicker than you do, it can sometimes appear that you're moving backwards, or you may feel that you're actually reversing when you're not. And that's what it is with the planets. It's an optical illusion. It's just a feeling that it's going backwards, but it's not actually going backwards. It just means that the conjunction that was there previously has now separated. So the conjunction, which is when they're very close together, like in that 11th house there, when they're really close together, it's really beneficial. And the energies of the 2 points can work together really well. But when they start separating, that energy becomes weakened. So it doesn't mean anything negative or bad. It just means that it's a lot weaker, and that energy is pulling apart, and that conjunction no longer there. So it's not anything to worry about or anything like that. But we've got 4 points there which have separated recently. And as I say, Jupiter is one of them. And I would say, looking at that, because it's now in that weaker position, it's just the security that Taurus wants has become weaker. And the fourth house as well wants to be secure, because that's the roots, that's where we are feel at home. So when you go into your home, you want to feel secure and safe. And the fourth house not only deals with our childhood homes, but deals with our adult home as well. So there it's in a weakened state, and Jupiter expands on that. So that's something that is affecting this chart there. But it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Let me know in the comments below what you think as well. And don't forget to click like and subscribe. And I will catch you all next time. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.